morning, workers. Good morning. Good morning, patients. My name is Emerson Padua. I'm a patient care technician. I've been in healthcare, specifically dialysis, for 21 years. I'm currently employed at both DaVita and Fresenius. My family and I, we reside in Southern California. I'm blessed. I have 3 older boys who could not make it here today. Their names are EJ, Nathan, and Logan. The rest of my family, they're here with me today. My fiance Amanda. This is my brilliant 13-year-old son Emmanuel. My beautiful and shy 10-year-old daughter Sienna. And we have a baby girl on the way.
All right.
My patients and colleagues and I, we are family. They are like my family away from my family. I see my patients 3 times a week.
Come on, Emerson.
I work 72 hours a week, 6 days a week, every week. I've committed my life to keep my patients alive and healthy.
Thank you.
These patients could be any one of my brothers, a sister, a mother, a father, a friend, and or a neighbor. DaVita and Fresenius, they are putting dialysis workers in the position to fail. When I started in this industry 21 years ago, it was all about the patients. It was all about patient care.
Yes.
We had ratios, 3 patients to 1 technician. Now today, ratios can be 8 patients to 1 tech. I've been in a position where there was 21 patients for 2 techs and a nurse. Yes, 21 patients, 2 techs and a nurse. And we're not just doing patient care. They have us so short staffed that I'm like a part-time janitor, part-time inventory tech, and part-time secretary. For my employers, DaVita and Fresenius, it's about getting patients in and getting patients out. Getting patients on the machine and off the machine. It's all about the profits for them.
Yes.
And not about the patients. I carry these burdens home with me. My family.
Hold on a minute.
They see how stressed I am when I get home after a long day working in these conditions. Something needs to change. Stop me. This is my moral obligation. It is our moral obligation.
Yes.
This is the right thing to do for workers and for our patients.
Yes.
As a healthcare worker, a dialysis worker, it's my duty to do everything I can to keep my patients healthy and alive. I am committed to making dialysis safer for patients, families, and workers. That is why I'm so committed to SB 349. Thank you. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Emerson, and thank you so much for bringing your family and sharing them with the rest of us today. So, I'm excited to introduce to you our next speaker. He is our healthcare champion. So he spoke with dialysis workers and patients last year, and after hearing their stories, he was so moved that he agreed to author the Dialysis Patient Safety Act. So we're so grateful to have him here as our healthcare champion. Join me in welcoming Senator Ricardo Lara.
How we doing, SCIU? Are we ready to make this happen? You know, I want to just give a shout out to Emerson for his courage. As I was listening to a story, it reminded me of somebody else in my life who was very courageous, as she was a seamstress for over 40 years. And one day they decided, the management of the company, that they were going to make the seamstresses not only work these tremendous hours, but also make them responsible for cleaning their own restroom. And that day, a young Dolores Lara stood up and said, "No more. I am a seamstress. There's plenty of people who are willing to do jobs, but this is my job in this company, and I'm not going to stand and clean anybody's restroom." And that began her fight to unionize seamstresses throughout LA. So I'm very proud, and it just reminded me Emerson's story of my own mother, as you know, she worked so hard to contribute to our family, and I appreciate your willingness and your courage to stand up against these tremendous companies, just as my mom did. Thank you so much. So let's get to the nitty-gritty. SB 349 we know is greatly needed. It requires safe staffing levels and transition times for dialysis patients here in California. We're asking and demanding, why not demanding, right? We're demanding that we get regular yearly inspections, and will hold clinics accountable to the state and to the patients they serve and the tremendous workers that they hire. We know that kidney failure disproportionately affects people of color. Since 2000, the number of Latinos with kidney failure has increased by more than 70%. African Americans nearly 4 times that, as their counterparts in our white community. You know, when two for-profit companies have completely monopolized almost 3/4 of California's dialysis clinics, we know that they cannot be trusted. Who really benefits from the dialysis treatments? Does the patients or industry? And this bill clearly highlights the discrepancies and what is really happening at these dialysis clinics. SB 349 will put patients first. It will put patients over industry profits. And I'm so proud to stand with you in this effort. I will be with you to the end. We're going to champion this all the way to the governor's office. And we're going to send a strong message to those 2 companies that we are not going to stand for what is happening. You're going to have to share your profits with your workers. You're going to have to ensure that patients are safe and that our workers have safe working conditions. Thank you so much for being here. I look forward to working with you on this important issue.
Senator Ricardo Lara, Democrat from Bell Gardens. Senator, you're out here today for this bill to fix the dialysis system. What do you see as the biggest problems?
You know, we want to make sure that there's safe staffing ratios when it comes to so many people that are in our dialysis centers. We hear that, you know, the workers are overworked, that they don't have the time to be able to treat the number of patients that are currently being required to attend to. And so we want to make sure, just like our hospitals, that we have safe staffing ratios, that we improve the quality of care for our patients, and that we ensure that, you know, there's safe and adequate transition times.
So since healthcare is the topic of the week, obviously I watched yesterday's hearing on 562, the Healthcare for All bill. I got to tell you, $400 billion, that's a hefty price tag, would more than triple the current state proposed budget. I got to ask how you justify that huge expense.
Well, you know, we're in the beginning of our legislative process. We want to start with the most expansive bill as possible and then work with the governor and our legislative leaders to pare it down. What we don't want to do is negotiate against ourselves, especially on an issue that's so important as universal health care. What we're trying to do is what every other industrialized nation in this world does, and it provides a public option for health care and clearly sending the message that health care is really a human right and not only for the people that can afford it.
Okay, what do you say to a guy like me who's maxed out and can't afford another huge tax increase like that?
Well, I'll tell you that you're already paying a huge chunk of money now, and you're getting less care for it. And so what we want to do is reshuffle our priorities, ensure that you can get the care that you need, pay less for it, and ensure that everybody has access. And so that's the goal. And we're just in the beginning of this conversation. So we look forward to working with the governor and the leaders to ensure that we finally get health care for all in California.
State Senator Ricardo Lara, thanks, Senator.
Thank you.
Daniel Radke, he is a 20-plus year dialysis nurse out of San Bernardino County, who's here to speak out against the fixed dialysis, Senate Bill 349. Daniel, these folks are claiming that there's not enough people to care for these patients. The caretaker to patient ratio is too low. People are getting sick. They're getting rushed through. They're getting infections.
That's not true, and they're making assumptions. These are not facts. The mortality rate is going down in California. The infection rate is better than almost any other state except for one state. So we're doing a great job of infection control in California. We're providing great care for these guys. I don't know where they're coming up with these numbers at, but we provide great care in California. And personally, I provide patient care. I'm a nurse. I've been doing it for a long time. I care about my patients. I make a difference, and we make a difference in keeping them going.
And in dialysis, as I understand the way you've explained it, it's a little more of a close relationship with those patients.
It's unique in the healthcare industry. We see them all the time. 13 treatments a month for month after month. Some of these patients have been on dialysis 20 years. So it's a really close relationship. They're family to us. We're not going to do anything to jeopardize our family. They're our family. So we take care of them the best we can. We provide great care. This bill is dangerous and it should not go through.
And you said it was so rigid that it really would restrict care.
Right. It would limit the slots available for the patients. Like I said, if someone calls off and now you're off the ratio, do those patients go home? Do they go to the hospital? Where do they go? And that's not what healthcare is about. It's providing the best care possible, and that's limiting what we can do. It's not a good thing.
All right, Daniel Radke, dialysis nurse. Thanks, Daniel. Appreciate it.
No problem.